By the end of this video, you'll understand how to construct chord progressions that just work every time, whether you're looking to build confidence, to jam with friends, or start writing your own music and discovering your creative potential. Have you ever wondered why certain chord progressions sound so smooth, or some musicians seem to be able to pull these seamless combinations out of thin air? Well, what we're about to cover today is exactly the sort of thing they know. We're going to start by briefly looking at the C major scale, so let's quickly cover those notes first. They are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, all the notes that exist within C major. Now, each of those notes will have a corresponding chord, and that is called the order of chords. And each of these chords are made up from the notes that exist within that major scale. Those chords will only contain the notes that exist within the scale. We know that we need 3 notes to start to form a chord, and if we was forming a major, we would take the first, the third, and the fifth, C, E, and G in the case of C major. And if we wanted to make that a minor, we would flatten that third, so it would then, instead of an E, we would have an E flat or a D sharp. C major goes back to C minor. So after C in that scale, our root note C, we then had D. So there would be a chord that corresponds to that, again comprised of the notes that exist within the C major scale. Now usually a D major would have the notes D, F sharp, and A. D major. Now an F sharp doesn't exist within the C major scale. So to make this chord work within the key of C, we would flatten that F sharp, 1 semitone, to become F. D major becomes D minor when the F sharp is flattened to F. So the D note that exists in the C major scale, the chord that would be constructed from those notes would be D minor. So after C, we would have a D minor. And the order of chords follows like so in a major key. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. And then we're back to our home, our major root. Now, diminished might have sounded a little bit scary if it's something you've never covered before, but we'll break that down in a second. So let's just go through this together quickly. In the case of C major, we start with our C major chord. We would then have a D minor. The next note of C was E. That would be a minor. Again, comprised of the notes that exist within C major. E major would have a G sharp in it, but we would flatten that to a G. It then fits within this key, so it would be E minor. We then have an F major, a G major, an A minor, and then a B diminished. So far we have just flattened the third in a major chord, which turns it into a minor. In the case of a diminished, you have a flattened third and a flattened fifth. In the case of B, that would be a B root note, a D, and an F. Doesn't sound too pleasing, eh? It's not a chord that you'll hear that often, especially in your kind of alternative, indie, definitely pop music. It's not going to appear a lot there. But classical and jazz, you will hear diminished chords. On its own, isolated, it can sound a bit nasty. But if you treat it as more of a passing chord, it links and resolves to the C major, its home, quite nice. Makes a brief little appearance, creates that bit of tension, and then resolves to its home is C major. So that's a good thing to get familiar with. Try and memorise those order of chords. The major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, then back to your home, your major. Each of those chords are adjusted to ensure that they fit within the key that we're working in. That's how each of the notes that are taken from the scale can then have a corresponding chord. That means if you play any of those chords, C, E minor, F, G, and then you play some lead around the C major scale, all of those notes are going to work and complement each other beautifully. And this is applicable in every major key, so try that for yourself. Take the D major scale, shift that shape up 2. We know we have D, so that's going to be a D major chord. Next note is E, so that would be a minor. Then we have an F sharp, that would be F sharp minor. G, A would both be majors. We have a B note, that would be a B minor. Then a C sharp diminished, and then we're back to D. So challenge yourself, see if you can start to form those chords in another key. So, to reiterate, whatever key you're in, any of those chords within the order of chords will work alongside each other. Do you ever hear people saying, I'm playing a 1, 4, 5 progression? Well, in the key of C major, the 1 would be C major, the 4 would be F, and the 5 would be G. C major, F major, and G major. The key of D, the 1 would be D major, the 4 would be G major, the 5 would be A major. Writing with numbers. This is really important if maybe songwriting, writing chord progressions is something you struggle with. You could just start to throw numbers out there. Once you know the key you're in, you understand the order of chords, you know the number that's associated with each chord, you could literally just throw some numbers out there and see what they sound like together. 1, 6, 5 in the key of C. 1, 6, 5. C major, A minor, G major. Sounds lovely together. Mix it up. 6, 4, 1. A minor, F major, C major. Get creative, experiment, believe in your unique creative ability. I've included a PDF for this video that's got all the chords that we've discussed. Just check the link in the description. Also down there in the description, you'll find a link to a completely free guitar course that can be yours. If you want it, feel free to check it out. I hope this video has unlocked a load of potential for you. If you do end up experimenting, if you do write some chord progressions, send them my way. I'd love to hear them. And if you want to take your musicianship to the next level, then check the video that's popping up now. Hopefully catch you in another video soon. Take care.